Welcome to War Bios, the podcast that delves into the complexities of conflict and the art of warfare. I'm your host, General Biography, and today we're going to explore one of the most pivotal battles in American history, the Battle of Yorktown. This decisive confrontation marked a turning point in the American Revolutionary War, as British forces under General Charles Cornwallis clashed with a combined army of American and French troops led by General George Washington. As we embark on this journey through the origins of the Battle of Yorktown, let's set the stage for the events that unfolded in the summer of 1781. The war had been raging for 6 years, with both sides suffering significant losses. The British government, under the leadership of Prime Minister Lord North, had shifted its focus from the northern colonies to the southern colonies, hoping to exploit the loyalist sentiment and gain a strategic advantage. This decision led to a series of military campaigns in the Carolinas and Virginia, which ultimately set the stage for the Battle of Yorktown. In the spring of 1781, General Washington was facing significant challenges in the north. The Continental Army was struggling to maintain its strength, and the French alliance, while crucial, was not yet fully realized on the battlefield. Meanwhile, General Cornwallis was making his way through the southern colonies, leaving a trail of destruction and chaos in his wake. The British Army's presence in Virginia, particularly in the port city of Portsmouth, posed a significant threat to the American cause. The city of Yorktown, founded in 1691 as a port town on the York River, played a crucial role in these plans. With its warehouses, shipyards, and other infrastructure, Yorktown was an attractive prize for both the British and the Americans. The city's strategic location, at the mouth of the York River and near the Chesapeake Bay, made it a critical transportation hub, controlling access to the Virginia interior. As we explore the origins of this pivotal battle, we find ourselves in the midst of a complex web of alliances, strategic calculations, and military maneuvering. The events that unfolded in the summer of 1781 would be shaped by the interactions of key figures like Washington, Rochambeau, Cornwallis, and de Grasse, as well as the broader geopolitical context of the time. In July 1781, Washington and Rochambeau began their march towards Virginia, leaving behind a smaller force under General William Heath to defend the Hudson River Valley. As they moved south, they were joined by additional troops, including a contingent of French soldiers under the Marquis de Lafayette, who had been fighting against the British in Virginia since the spring. Meanwhile, Admiral de Grasse was sailing towards the Chesapeake Bay with his fleet, intent on supporting the American and French armies. The stage was now set for the events that would unfold at Yorktown. The city's fate, and that of the entire war, hung in the balance. The story of Yorktown is one of cunning strategy, bravery, and sacrifice, and it's a tale that continues to captivate historians and military enthusiasts to this day. As General Washington and the Comte de Rochambeau marched their combined army towards Virginia, they were joined by additional troops, including a contingent of French soldiers under the Marquis de Lafayette. Meanwhile, Admiral François-José Paul de Grasse was sailing towards the Chesapeake Bay with his fleet, intent on supporting the American and French armies. The stage was now set for a showdown between the British forces under General Charles Cornwallis and the combined might of the American and French armies. The city of Yorktown, with its strategic location at the mouth of the York River and near the Chesapeake Bay, played a crucial role in these plans. Washington's strategy was to trap the British Army against the sea, using the French fleet to block any potential escape routes. The French army, led by Rochambeau, would provide the necessary manpower to besiege the British positions, while the American army, led by Washington, would provide support and reinforce the French lines. As the battle commenced, the British army found itself in a precarious position. Cornwallis had chosen to defend Yorktown, hoping to hold out until reinforcements arrived from New York. However, the arrival of the French fleet under de Grasse blocked any potential escape routes, and the British army was soon surrounded. The siege of Yorktown began on September 28, 1781, with the French and American armies digging trenches and building earthworks to encircle the British positions. The next few weeks were marked by intense fighting as the British Army attempted to break through the French and American lines. However, Washington's strategy had paid off, and the British Army was slowly but surely being pushed back. On October 14, 1781, American and French troops launched a daring assault on the British redoubts, capturing key positions and further weakening the British defenses. As the British situation grew more desperate, Cornwallis attempted to escape across the York River, but a sudden storm destroyed his boats, leaving him no choice but to surrender. On October 19, 1781, the British Army marched out of Yorktown, laying down their arms in defeat. The Battle of Yorktown was over, and with it, the war had effectively been won. As Washington reflected on the victory, he noted that the fate of the war is now in our hands. The surrender at Yorktown marked a turning point in American history, as the British government began to realize that the war was unwinnable. The battle also cemented the alliance between France and America, forging a lasting bond between the two nations. The human cost of the Battle of Yorktown was significant, with over 500 British soldiers killed or wounded, and an estimated 200 American and French troops lost. However, the victory had been worth the sacrifice, as it paved the way for American independence. The British surrender at Yorktown marked a significant turning point in the war, as it became clear that the British government could no longer maintain its costly and bloody campaign to quell the rebellion. The news of the defeat sent shockwaves throughout Britain, and public opinion began to shift against the war. In 1782, the British government, led by Lord North, resigned, and a new government, led by Lord Rockingham, took power with a mandate to negotiate a peace treaty. The Treaty of Paris, signed on September 3, 1783, formally ended the American Revolutionary War, recognizing American independence from Britain. The treaty established the boundaries of the United States, with all British territory east of the Mississippi River being ceded to the new nation. The treaty also provided for the evacuation of British troops and the return of property to American loyalists who had fled during the war. The aftermath of the Battle of Yorktown also saw significant changes in the leadership of the Continental Army. George Washington, now hailed as a national hero, would go on to play a key role in shaping the new nation. In 1787, he presided over the Constitutional Convention, which drafted the United States Constitution. The Constitution established a federal system of government, with 3 branches and a system of checks and balances. The Battle of Yorktown also had significant implications for the French, who had played a crucial role in the American victory. The financial burden of supporting the American war effort had taken a significant toll on the French economy, contributing to the country's growing debt crisis. This crisis would eventually contribute to the outbreak of the French Revolution in 1789. In the years following the Battle of Yorktown, the United States began to take shape as a new nation. The Articles of Confederation, adopted in 1781, provided a framework for governance, but they proved inadequate for managing the newly independent nation. The Constitutional Convention of 1787 addressed these shortcomings, establishing a more robust system of government. As we reflect on the Battle of Yorktown and its aftermath, it is clear that this pivotal moment in American history had far-reaching consequences. The battle marked the beginning of the end of British rule in America and paved the way for the creation of a new nation, founded on the principles of liberty, democracy, and self-governance. The legacy of Yorktown continues to inspire and captivate us to this day, reminding us of the power of courage, perseverance, and strategic leadership in shaping the course of history. In conclusion, our journey through the story of Yorktown has taken us from the early days of the American Revolution to the aftermath of the battle and the birth of a new nation. We have seen how the bravery and cunning of American and French forces, led by George Washington and the Comte de Rochambeau, ultimately triumphed over the British Army, leading to a decisive victory that shaped the course of American history. As we close this chapter on the Battle of Yorktown, we are reminded of the enduring significance of this pivotal moment in American history and its continued relevance to our understanding of the world today. That's all for today's War Bios. Remember to like, share, and subscribe, and until next time, I'm General Biography reminding you to keep marching toward victory.